gentle. Well, it's a new day, and I just started off the day with a call from a driver saying the lorry is 28 tons or something, and it's not going to be able to deliver up here. So first job is to get the tractor ready and waiting after we've fed some noisy pigs. Such drama queens. Annoyingly, the new sheep won't stop chewing this fence, and I don't know why they're doing it. Just trying to get to the grass the other side, aren't they? Let's just see if our new sheep are feeling friendly today. Come on, girls. Right, let's quickly run down and see the clintons because they definitely feel like they're being left out. These guys are not worried about anything. No idea when that lorry's due, but I did tell the guy to give me a call when he's 5 minutes off. They're oversized pallets. There are wood fibre boards. They're 350 to 400 kilo a piece. Lifting capacity on our tractor is about 3 to 350. I think it'll be okay. Worst comes to worst, I'll lift them off, dump them on the floor. Then I can split them over 3 pallets and deal with them after he's gone. Right, forks are on the tractor now, but while we're waiting for that, there's a few other bits that I want to lift and shift into the big stone barn. Last week we picked up a few odd bits in an auction. You might have seen that on Instagram. All the old rope. Actually, I'll show you the rope in a second, but hay feeder for the winter. But also snagged a couple of big commercial chest freezers out of the farm shop. But I mentioned the rope. Some of you will have seen this on Instagram or on Patreon, but check out this. Joe stumbled across this while we were looking at other stuff. Pallet full of rope, absolutely loads of it. Proper sisal, old school stuff. You know, dozens of meters of the stuff. More modern nylon type rope. £45, £50 I think we paid for all of it. Not sure Joe would ever trust it, but I could try and make some sort of rope bridge out of that maybe. Swings, you name it. I think we've got a lifelong supply of rope there. Bizarrely, there's no... oh, there is a control on there. Little screwdriver one. It's probably quite good it doesn't get knocked. I know it works because I saw it in the farm shop before I bought it. Pack full of gammon. It works. I'll give this a good clean out, let it get down to temperature. South-facing window by a freezer with a glass lid. You must be mad! I am mad, but I think we'll be alright. This is literally the only clear free space with power that we've got. We've obviously got enough insulation boards, which we're actually not using anymore. Well, we are, but not for the cabin straight away. So I've just put the top board on there, and it looks like collared doves were building a nest up there. So failed at that. And it never really gets that warm in here. Big stone walls, loads of ventilation and no heating. So we'll see how that gets on. I thought our work was over in here, but it makes sense whilst we've got the forks in here to take the OSB back round with us because we're going to be needing it in the next day or two. Remember when we brought this in, we brought it in on the forks on the back of the tractor, which can lift twice as much. Alright, I'm going to try and get these studs out as well whilst I'm waiting. Bit of a wibbly wobbly pile. I'm not going to bother strapping them. If I tilt it back enough, they'll just fall back. Well, I've had the call. 5 minutes off being at the bottom of the main road. And hopefully it's going to be on the right side of the lorry. Right, now we just sit and wait. I think there's some sort of adjustment somewhere. Worth taking a few off? You reckon? So I'll explain what's going on here. We've managed to lift it we are completely maxed out on capacity. We've just lifted it enough to get it off the bed, and I'm backing off away from the lorry. Unfortunately, because of the way a front loader works and the forks on the tractor, as we lower the forks down to the ground, they're also going to tip. So we have to compensate by tilting them backwards as we lower the front loader. Unfortunately, the tractor at this point doesn't have enough in it to tilt them back any further, so therefore if I was to just lower it, they'd want to be sliding away from me. So it's a bit of a catch-22. We tried going a little bit lower, but we could see that it was going to get, we were going to end up with them sliding off the forks, so therefore we had to just take them into the lorry slightly. So there's a bit of a fail-safe there, so we just kind of kit in the bed of the lorry and handball some off. Now this is entirely my fault for asking too much of the tractor. It's not really what it's designed for. We do use it quite a bit for moving pallets around, and it is very handy to have, especially having the extra load by being able to use the 3-point linkage forks on the back. But in this situation where you're trying to get something off a lorry, it's no help at all. And in addition, in the past couple of days I've had another few deliveries where we've maxed out. We've had a load of pig feed delivered. There was probably 30 bags on there, so we again were overweight, so I just split the pallets. It's easy enough. I put an empty pallet on the forks, raised that up to the bed of the truck, handballed maybe 10-15 bags onto that, and then I could lift both off. Right, so just manage that. Decided I'd go backwards, that way I can see the potholes. Bit all or nothing, that control. I need to see if I can get Black Track to tell me how to change dampen down the drop rate. We got them all up here, and it's a damn sight easier than trying to handball them off into the back of the car or into the sheep trailer. So we've got, I don't know what not a ton, but what they 400 kilo a pallet, about that. So we pushed it to the max, so there was no way that we could have lifted more. I'm not going to complain, because that tractor is a great little workhorse for its size, and I think, yes, a bigger tractor could lift more, but I'd never be able to do a 3-point turn in the stone barn like we were doing earlier. And if that lane was a little less potholey, a little forklift might be good, but anyway, we'll dream on. For now, these are in the dry. They are actually weatherproof, believe it or not. I'm not sure which is the outer surface, but they are weatherproof for a certain number of weeks. We don't really need to use that property of it, because we've got big roller membrane there to go straight over once they're on. And then over the top of that, all the counterbattens will be securing this in reality to the framework. Well, I just had the early morning call over breakfast to say that there's a delivery. So they've dropped it. I've got them to drop it at the bottom of the lane. I need to go and bring it out to the barn now. Well, there we go, just like that. We've got all of our insulation, all of our wood fibre boards. We are pretty much good to go on the cabin. Roofing's got to arrive in the next few days, so I've got to pick it up. It's a lot of sheep. And of course, over the past week, I've found even more things to use this tractor for that it's really not designed for. One was getting this absolute wreck of a livestock trailer off the trailer. It's well, it's not been touched in about 30 years. It's going to be, one day, a mobile chicken coop, which we're going to be able to move around the paddock. It is, believe it or not, in use already, but we will be stripping it right back and redoing it. But as you can see, the tyres are, well, they're non-existent pretty much. So again, it needed a bit of heavy lifting to get it off. There was no way, although it was lifted on with a telehandler, even though it's fairly light, there's no way that tractor was going to lift it off whole. But it was okay at kind of lifting and pulling and shifting it onto the ramps, and then I could drag it off. And finally, the most over-optimistic challenge for the tractor this week was going to be to unload the fence posts. We had 240 odd fence posts arrive, and yes, again, we had to split half the pallet off. But not to worry, we can put them back on. Here's a quick look at that from one of our Instagram stories earlier in the week. Unfortunately, little tractor, well, it managed about half, well, bang on half, so to handball some off, but I left it so that these are still wired together. We should be able to put them back in afterwards. Well, there we go. You've seen what we've been up against. The tractor is still doing a great job in and around the farm, but I think as we start looking at moving bigger, heavier, bulkier materials and unloading vehicles especially, we've probably met our match with using forks on the front of this tractor. So there are a lot of options there as we move forwards, most of which cost a lot of money. So it's nice to know we've got a telehandler with the next door neighbours, but we do have some options, and that will be something we're going to explore in the next few videos over the next few weeks. Whether that's a bigger tractor, a different machine, that sort of thing. Lots of things to look at, lots of things to consider. But I guess just like any tool, the best tractor is the one you got. And this is the one we got. And we love it to bits. We're just being a bit greedy with what we're asking it to do. And I haven't managed to speak to Blacktrack yet, but I'm sure anyone with mechanical knowledge like you guys will be able to let me know. With the lowering and raising and tilting of the front loader, do we have any control on the speed of that? On the back arms, you can dial that down with this knob here, so the fall rate and how quickly those arms fall, you can change on there. But I've looked along the hydraulics and I can't see anything that would indicate somewhere to kind of dampen down that rate. There may be, there may not be, but as you saw when we were unloading the wood fibre boards, it doesn't take much for it to suddenly tip. You know, it's very, very sensitive. So maybe it's just a case of being very delicate with it. Equally, maybe there is a way of just slowing that slightly. But then I guess if you were doing loader work, you'd be sat there forever. So it would be good to find something that's adjustable. Anyway, that is enough tractor banter. When we get to a point where we're going to make a decision on best route forwards for material handling, we will be sure to let you know. I know we've already got a conversation started with Blacktrack about alternatives, so watch this space. The good thing is we've now got all of our materials over by the cabin. So they are on hand, ready to sheath it with OSB. All the studs are down there now. As you've seen from the first framing video, we're really getting stuck in. Hopefully by the end of this week, we should have the whole frame raised, ready for the roof to go on. Links to anything I've mentioned, I'll try and put down in the description, as well as Blacktrack's website, because they're the guys who have loaned us that tractor and our support crew when it comes to all things mechanical. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.